So, 16 seconds to go before the Simraceway World Touring Car Championship gets underway for the top skill quad. It's a BMW 1, 2, 3 at the moment. And let's just see what the Volvos can do in response. They weren't as successful in qualifying. Well, they've been successful during the race. You've got 2 red lights, now 3, followed by the 4th. The engines start to rise, and away we go. Big start by Mike on the outside. And now he's converting into an overtaking maneuver at turn number 1 or no. Let's see if he can maybe make it stick. He's in the slipstream. Mike trying to go round the outside. They're almost 3 abreast into the first corner. Still pushing for the manoeuvre, and he really can't do it. So still Shadow Bounty that leads out of the first corner, followed by Stuntman Mike, then Nolan. We've got a BMW into 4th as well, but Graf Windel challenges back on the inside for that. And the Volvo follows it all the way. And Max Gaber now pushing through as well. Can he get the Volvo in front of him? Not quite. And now Van Pander to the inside, can you make it stick? He's taken force. The BMW's out in full force here today. Sean 24 has already broken the 3 and he careers into one of them. And now to the outside again, that's a Gaber's in the wall and the spoilers come off. And a real problem there for Max Gaber. RT-Max trying to sweep around the outside. Cortese can't quite do it. But a big first lap here, 15 laps of racing. And now already it's Shadow Bounty from Stuntman, then Nolan Bolin. The first 3 have stayed there since qualifying. And they maintain that. Van Pander's now 4th, Graf Windel stays 5th, Sean 24 now 6th. Made their way through, now things really started to build up a charge. Cortese trying to get to the inside of AKA Break now, obviously feeling that BMW momentum shift back on side again as the Volvo sink down the order faster than you can say the word Volvo. Say that, Sean 24 now trying to overtake Graf Windel. So at the end of lap number 2, Shadow Bounty Mike, then Nolan, then Van Pander, Graf Windel with a big lock up there in the BMW. And then AKA Break, Cortese trying to go round the outside, RT-Max in the inside, nothing going through there though, despite his finest attempts. Although back through goes Cortese again, the 2 BMWs trading places so neatly there. It's like they're teammates and they've just been coordinating some sort of ice dance between them. Beautifully done, AKA Break unfortunately relinquishes it though. Shadow Bounty, Stuntman, then Nolan. Just about keeps in front, AKA Break, followed by RT-Max, then B13 still chasing. And as the race wears on, the drivers need to try and settle down into a rhythm, because if they don't, they could find themselves in a world of trouble as Stuntman might challenges for the race lead. And the Bolin has somewhat dropped away, 4.6 seconds back now from these 2 cars. Let's see what Stuntman Mike is capable of. As we get in that slipstream or no, they go down in towards the first corner for the 4th time today. And early sold here by the BMW boys as far to the outside as he could there. In fact, 2 wheels off the tarmac. Tell already just how much he's willing to risk for this position. Findle, then Sean, then Luke, then Cortese, aka Breaking Knight. There's got a hell of a big train behind him, a Volvo and a Chevrolet involved. The Volvo to the inside, that's RT Metz trying to make his way past the black and orange BMW, but no avail just yet. He's also got to be very wary. And he's got a Chevrolet tucked up right there, ready to pounce as V13 almost did and tried to put the move on him. Very close, and unfortunately couldn't get it done for his sake, but there's plenty more opportunities where that came from, I'm sure. This will not be the last we see of B13, and probably not the same with RT Metz as well. The SPM driver trying to get himself to the inside there through the corkscrew, and it's not going to work. We've seen the intimidation factor through their work numerous times today, but you've got to have pretty much confidence that was through the roof to make that work. As you do with that move, and that's just trying to force a hole where it simply wouldn't open. It's almost like trying to fit a new sofa through a mini door. It's just not going to go through at all, no matter what angle you try it. And unfortunately there, he's dropped back behind B1386. King Dio, then AG06 as well, just still behind, but plenty of action left to come. The Volvo of Graf Findel looking to make up for lost time and try and put a move on Van Panther's BMW. So it's now currently BMW 1, 2, 3, 4. With Stuntman Mike pressuring our race leader at the moment. We're about a third of the way through the race almost. Still a little bit of time left to go before we hit that mark though. And the real question is, can they capitalise on an error? And the inconsistencies seem to flow through the numerous seasons, and the drivers who know each other so well also very much aware of other drivers' weaknesses. So Stuntman Mike, who's been with Shadow Bounty through countless Simraceway championships, will know that maybe going into a certain corner at this racetrack he isn't very strong, or at a certain part of another racetrack in a certain car he's very, very strong. So it's all about trying to learn the way your opponents drive and where to plan your assaults, because right now Graf Findel is maybe lacking that over Van Panther, another Volvo to the outside of turn number 8. And once again, the move cut short just due to the lack of room and the wideness of the cars. It's never going to work through there, no matter how much you try and force the gap open. Shadow keeps his car in the right direction for now, just ahead of Stuntman Mike. He's a little bit faster last time round as well, but it doesn't really count for much when the gap is that close. You cannot be affording to relinquish that amount of time, unfortunately, and the drivers have got to be fully aware of that one. And if you're within a few tenths of a second, you could be a few tenths of a second faster that lap, but because of the slipstream down the straight, it all gets eaten straight back out of that exceedingly fast lap, and Stuntman Mike is left in a poised, ready to pounce position to take down his opponent and try and get himself into the race lead. We're a third of the way through the race, and he's looking much stronger than we've seen him in recent weeks. First race of a new championship, obviously liking the car and track combination here for the opening round, as many people are the BMW. As we say, P1, 2, 3 and 4, Nolan bowling, continue to bowl over the opposition, if you pardon the pun, making some real waves in the Simraceway scene. As Graf Findel just lined up behind, Sean 24 behind him as well, with Luke and Cortese, aka Break and B1386 are not that far adrift either. They're really putting in the strong lap times now. But that Chevrolet B13 has already overtaken one car due to an error. Is he going to overtake another one? He's lined right up behind aka Break's BMW now. And now out of turn number 1, B13 just can't quite get close enough just yet. We'll keep an eye on it though. As meanwhile, Cortese trying to overtake Luke Sky 80, as we say, one of the strongest midfield competitors there are in terms of consistency. Luke Sky making his outing in a Volvo today. Continuing to make those waves as an AP7 right in the heart of the field. Another consistent result. He'd love a top 5. and one may even be within reach here. We know how unpredictable this championship is. It's just all about driving your own race and keeping it consistent. In towards the corkscrew again. Can Cortese make it stick? Not quite. And Luke Sky keeping his head above water just about. Meanwhile, someone he may not be is our race leader. Stuntman Mike to the inside of the final corner, trying to barge his way through. Has he got the drive? Not quite, but he does have an almighty slipstream going up that hill, down the chute in towards turn number 1. Can he get his car into an overtaking position or no? Lap number 8 out of 15 then to the outside. Will he switch immediately backwards? Not this time he doesn't. He's going to try and cut swervely underneath, but Shadow Bounty sees that one coming 3 miles away and cuts the move short before it has time to progress. In towards turn number 3 again. Stuntman Mike getting very racy now and starting to really apply some big pressure on top of our race leader. And now, I think Shadow Bounty had a bit of an error actually going out in the final corner. And now Stuntman Mike may just capitalise on it and punish him. Talking of capitalising, look at Van Panther Grau Findle getting really racy in that blue Volvo just behind the BMW. He's only in P5 at the moment. Get to the outside, he's done for it. Sweeping round. Not quite there just yet. He's going to try and cut back underneath to be on the outside for turn number 3. No, not quite there, but the Volvo looking extremely fiery right now. And just behind as well, the pattern continues of BMW, Volvo, BMW, Volvo, BMW. And just behind those two drivers, Short, Luke and Cortese, wait for their opportunities. And now defending into the corkscrew, the Volvo got very bottomed down then, and again very top heavy at the front. And I'm not too sure what kind of setup Luke Sky's running, but that did not look healthy at all. The car bottomed straight down on the exit, and that could explain why Cortese is able to apply so much pressure in the much lighter rear-wheel drive BMW. Into the final corner they go to start lap number 10 of our double race header today. Cortese struggles on the exit as well. But now he's really got to make something before it's too late and keep the engine running. Make sure he hasn't made any miscalculations regarding fuel and hope for the best. Back out front, no Shadow Bounty still maintains a strong lead over Stuntman Mike at the moment. Nolan Bolin in 3rd, Van Panther in 4th, Grau Findle 5th, Sean 6th, Luke 7th, Cortese in 8th, B13 9th. Looking through the field, we've only had one retirement so far, and that was Baxter 57 all the way back on lap number 1. So, considering what we had in the B race, the attrition rate in the A race has been a lot less, which is great to see. It's always what you want to see from touring cars. Plenty of action, a very massively populated grid, and oh, excitement! As you say, excitement! Van Panther spins, and that's right on the racing line. Cars do very well to avoid him. That was right in that pack, if you remember, the 3 BMWs, the 2 Volvos. He rejoins all the way behind RT Metz, so the SPM driver now inside the top 10. That was not a good moment at all for him. And Shadow Bounty still tries to pull away from Stuntman Mike in 2nd. Now Shadow Bounty goes over the start-finish line 1.7 seconds clear with a 1:26.0 as a lap time, 1:26.2 for Stuntman Mike. Now we've got 55. Moving on to position over short 24 at the moment. Stefano Power to get his way past the Volvo, but slight mishap there, and he's really starting to struggle now. As time starts to fade away, it becomes of the essence that desperation surely going to start setting in, especially if you've had a bad start. You want to recuperate it and make sure you don't make the same errors as the time wears on. You don't want any incomplete moves. You don't want anything of that nature. You need to be clean here and concise in the final few moments of this race. You should consider you've got another one right around the corner as well. Now out in the final corner and down the straight comes the race leader. A 1:26.1 for him and a 1:26.9 there for Stuntman Mike, so he's lost a lot of time. A 1:26.5 from the man in third of Nolan Boland, so definitely a good showing there for the rookie. And the man in his rookie season at least. Grafindle fourth, Sean in fifth, Luke Sky sixth, B13 in seventh, ahead of Cortese, aka Break, and the recovering RT Mets. You've got to look for Van Panther, who's in 11th, who's also got to recover now 5 seconds behind that group of cars. And that's the trouble with this championship, is that it's so competitive and the drivers are so closely edged together, where if this was maybe a Formula 3 series and a driver had crashed, he'd be able to recover very well. If you saw Racer Acola crash, 3 months ago at Watkins Glen in a Formula 3, you'd now be back inside the top 5 within a few laps. But now, because these cars are so even, because the times are so close, if you drop back, it is extremely difficult to push your way back to the front. And now Shadow Bounty out of the final corner, extending his gap on lap number 12 to about 4 seconds as he goes over the line. This time a much faster 1:25.9, the only driver to break a 1:25 currently. He's almost 0.6 of a second quicker than Stuntman Mike there. Nolan Boland had a terrible lap also, so he's getting slower. Sean 20 seems to get a bit faster as well, as he laps faster than Grafindle, the man he's chasing down. And now, final couple of laps starting to get underway. Shadow Bounty going to make his way over the line to start the penultimate lap of the race. Big start there, Stuntman Mike second. And it's going to be a 1:26.5, so still a bit slower there. Let's see what Nolan Boland can do. It's a 1:27.5, he is slowing down still. Or maybe just settling as it goes. Grafindle and Sean still in that battle that's been raging on for quite some time now. And Sean doing everything he can to keep his head above water. We've been monitoring this for about 10 laps now. But still, no avail just yet. Sean goes through the corkscrew. Graf Findel does everything he can to stay ahead. The Volvos have somewhat come alive. Remember, it was a BMW 1-2-3. Ended up a whole BMW top 5 at one stage. And then the Volvos sort of got a bit of resurgence during the mid-race pace. Graf Findel, Sean, then Luke Sky. So the two Volvos starting to come right amongst the competition. And if you think back to qualifying as well, it's actually going to play very nicely into the hands of the Volvos. A BMW 1-2-3 means the back row of the grid will be entirely BMW, and for the BMWs to get back past the Volvos, they will have to pass every single Volvo in the field, and the Volvos have already proven today they are very difficult to pass. They're not like going to just roll over and let the faster cars through. Sean 24 has been a prime example. He's been stuck in 5th behind Graf Findel all race. Luke Sky has fended off threats from Van Panther until the spin. They're not hard cars to get in front of until you're behind them at a tricky part of the race. If you're at the start of the race and there's a group of them, then you're going to struggle, and then the Volvos set into the rhythm and the BMWs have no answer. So now we're on the final lap, and SPM Shadow Bounty over the line to win the first race of the Simraceway World Touring Car Championship. Stuntman might take second for a BMW 1-2, and Nolan Bolin just continues to impress, doesn't he? A podium position for him. Graf Findel takes 4th, Sean 5th, Luke Sky is in 6th place, B13 is 6th, Prot is in 7th place, ahead of RT Metz in 8th. AKO break 9, Van Panther couldn't quite recover to where he wanted. He finishes in a very disappointing 10th, and considering he starts from near the back of the grid, that's exactly what we were talking about. If you start at the front, you finish at the back, then starts at the back next race, you've got a lot of work to do to get your championship on track. King Dio 11th, AGO 6th, 12th, Cortese 13th, not even retirement of the day, back to Gamer, but a whopping start for BMW. The German power there proving to be simply dominant. Shadow Bounty takes the 2nd win of the day for SPM and their 3rd podium of the weekend. Will they repeat it going into race 2? Let's find out. It's a reverse grid, meaning the pole sitter starts at the back. So here we are then, we're back live for what should be 2nd time lucky. It was a good start last time for Cortese, watch out for him. He starts in the BMW in 4th position. He had a good race number 1. He'll be looking to build on that in race number 2. Our race winner, however, is all the way down in 14th position. Stuntman Mike 13th, 12th Van Panther, 11th Nolan Bolin. So we now wait for the red lights, and a big start then by the Chevy on the outside. One for Cortese again. Another dream start though. It's only overtaken one. Couldn't do what he did last time, however. The field swarmed down into turn number 1, and now he's going to have to try and sweep it round the outside, and there's already more contact. I've got a feeling there's going to be a second restart. We may get away with it though. There's a lot of banging and clattering going around. It's almost like a dodgem race. Into turn number 2 they go. And now coming towards halfway through the first lap, round the outside, there goes Sean 24 trying to sweep it round the Volvo. And that was never going to work through there, though unfortunately he did his best. The BMW's on a charge. Our race winner, SPM Shadow Bounty, up to 10th then. Started 14th, he's overtaken 4. And going a bit round the outside. He's doing everything he can as they climb towards the top of the corkscrew. Almost 3 wide with the BMWs through there. And watch Nolan bowl in the black and orange one in 9th. He's ahead of our race winner from last time. He's trying to split the two white and blue BMWs. He's got on the inside there. They're almost 3 wide again. Nolan bowling on a charge. They are 3 wide. Into the penultimate corner they go. Watch out with Shadow Bounty. And he's off the grass again and now into the final corner. A late braking manoeuvre. And now should be able to hit the slipstream at least to Shadow Bounty. On the hammer heavy then, down in towards turn number 1. They start a second lap. And it's still AKA Break Your Leader from B13 in second. Our teammates in third. Fourth King Dio, not much longer. The SPM teammates leave plenty of room between each other to make sure they don't collide. And the two Volvos switch around. So it's King Dio third, our teammates fourth. The Volvo behind them are Baxter Gabriel in fifth, being pressured by Cortese. Now the two black and orange ones of SPM, and then of course Nolan bowling as well. Sean, Van Panther, Grau Findle, and AGO6 and Luke Sky. The spot in that corner again. We're seeing so many cars spin at the same corner, which is very bizarre. This keeps on happening now. It's like every race so far, a car has ended up on its roof through that corner. So definitely some inconsistency shining through there, that's for sure. Now Graffin. 6 down, now Sean 24 on the inside of our race winner SPM Shadow Bounty. Goes through and the black and orange BMW sinks down further, tries to re-overtake Sean, but the other BMW has completely different ideas on where he wants his race to progress and finds himself entering the final corner a position higher. AKA Brave breaks away, we've got a black and orange car spun. Who is it? It is our race winner from last time, Shadow Bounty. He's not happy at all. He's out of the race. He's retired. We thought he was going to spin it round and get it going, but he hasn't. He's back in the pit lane. What a terrible result it was for our race leader of last time, our pole sitter of last time, and the race winner. A dreadful error caused by another driver. We'll try and figure out who it was and whether there's a penalty coming. But all we know right now is AKA Break and B13 are fighting AKA Break. In fact, on a break, he's 9 seconds clear of our teammates in third. It's Baxter Gaber, who we seem to guess is the man in the incident with Shadow Bounty. Has received the penalty for it. And now the cars finishing right as they make their way, go up towards the corner before the corkscrew again. Dip down over the apex and King Dio in the air. And he caught the anti-cut and he's brought the other Volvo and Baxter Gaber with him. That's 2 cars in the kitty litter. Back onto the circuit they go. And they dive down into the corkscrew. But my goodness me. Nolan, Sean, Van Panther, and Grau Findle there as well. Currently together, but Cortese in fourth. The RT-Mets brigade is definitely in full effect here, doing everything he can to keep his car ahead. But as the race wears on, you've got to feel like there's got to be something maybe a little bit more than this, because this has just been sensational so far. And now up the inside, there's a cheeky little move there from the BMW on the Volvo. That is RT-Mets losing out to Cortese, so the white BMW makes its way through. And might try to get to the inside and reclaim position there, but RT-Mets with what can only be described as a great manoeuvre. It's very nice to make their way back up towards turn number 5. Mike again. Now in towards corkscrew, he's got to try and find something. Get to the inside or no, Cortese trying to pull away. Nolan. For the moment to start that spin, of course, started from 12th position, now inside the top 5, so great start there. Stuntman Mike in 6th. Trying to push on at the moment, can you get to the inside or no? So the big lacklustre manoeuvre through the final corner, but not quite. Sean. Way to the outside of the Stuntman Mike to make an attack. We approach the final corner or so last time by, and it was a completely different story. But now, Stuntman Mike passing Sean like it's absolutely nobody's business. Made it look effortless is the only word to describe that there. And he moves up another position. So now yet another position change we've just seen towards what could be one of the most important parts of this field then. Background of Rafindo on AGO6 just rounding out the top 10 and slowly making their way through at the moment, but they've got to do a bit more than that. Cortese. It's still the battle for the lead between the Chevy and the BMW. B13 chasing, aka Brakes Beamer at the moment. The pole sitter has held it strong. Now he's going to do it for a bit much longer though, isn't he? I mean, it's a long race, 15 laps. You're looking at about 25-30 minutes. Not exactly an easy job to do, but through the final corner he comes. I'll actually monitor lap times as they go over the start-finish line. Let's see what AKA Brake is capable of. Over the start-finish line he comes. A 126.8, and it's a 126.8 matched by B13. 127.1 for Cortese. RT Metz on a 126.8. A 126.4 for Nolan Bolin. So he really is on a flyer. We knew he was going quickly anyway. Seems to be doing it even better. He's approaching RT Metz's Volvo. Tony Nolan of RT Metz, and it's a risky move to a very tight-handed apex. Bit of argy-margy. There may be some repercussions for that. The outside. Nolan trying to hold on as Mike capitalises on the error, sweeps it round. Nolan Bolin does very well to stand his ground and not let the position fade, but now Mike's going to be a drag race ahead, sweeping around turn number 6. Can't make it stick, has to settle back in. RT Metz scrambling around now side by side with Mike. He's cornered off by the black and orange BMW. It's an absolute carnage train as they go in towards the corkscrew. Very, very lucky not to hit each other there for a number of reasons, and luckily they scrambled through okay. Out to the final corner again, and look at everyone trying to scramble for position. Nolan Bolin immediately to the inside. He's aware that Volvo's got a nice drive. Keeps his position very much intact for just a bit longer. Now heading towards turn number 1. 7 here at the moment currently belongs to Sean 24. Maybe not for much longer because Van Panther almost took it from him. It's something absolutely deadly there, but nonetheless, a great little manoeuvre it would have been. What they're going to do is try and keep that going. And who knows, there could well be something more to give in the second half of this race, because that pack just looks like an accident waiting to happen. There's definitely some controversy around the corner. You can sniff it. Makes its way to the top of the corkscrew. B13 trying to get to the inside now. This is the closest the Chevrolet has looked to maybe overtake him for the race lead here. We're approaching the halfway mark as well. Penultimate corner. He's only 0.8 of a second away. Is there going to be a sign? Because Cortese's only 4 seconds and gaining fast. This could very well develop into a three-way fight for the race lead. Was B13 got up his sleeve, and Nolan Bolin into 4th. He's done a great job so far, but he's under pressure there. He's had a terrible exit of the corner, and he could lose some dramatic ground here. Look at the BMW and the Volvo. You've got RT Metz right on the outside of this one in the bright blue Volvo. It's Stuntman Mike in the middle. Nolan Bolin, black and orange on the inside, defending a little bit of contact. They somehow make it through there unscathed. That is an absolute puzzle to me. How they've done a bit of a nudge there, but that's to be expected in touring car racing, and there it is. There's the colossal contact we were talking about. The Volvo of RT Metz goes on its roof. That same corner again, and the other car off was Stuntman Mike, who drops down to 9th position. He will be absolutely devastated about that one. corkscrew once again, aka Brake, defending his lead at the moment in 8th place. Oh, 8th lap, I should say. 8th place currently is being defended by Graf Findel. That's what I was talking about. He's trying to overtake AGO6 for 7th. That could be a little one to keep an eye on as it develops, but as they're going towards the final corner to start lap number 9 of 15. It's aka Brake that leads, B13 in 2nd, Cortese in 3rd, Nolan Bowl in 4th, Van Panda 5th, Sean 24 in 6th, 7th belongs to AGO6, 8th is Graf Findel, 9th Stuntman Mike, 10th up Net, 11th Luke Sky 80. Graf Findel move his way to the inside, or no, the other Volvo. The only other issue, tracing another car the exact same mark as you, is knowing that you've got the exact same power underneath you. It's all the same. The only thing that changes is your setup. So if you've got maybe a lower downforce setup, then it could come into key here at Monterey Bay. But right now, it's looking like the two Volvos are so evenly matched, there may not be much to separate them as we go into the closing stages of this race. About 7 laps to go then. Though Graf Findel's looking much more racy than AGO6. Can he get to the inside or no? Not quite. We did get a bit closer to turn number 5. Wait. That's into corkscrew again. Running underneath the race leader now, playing a bit of mind games with him. I'm actually surprised the headlights haven't come on. That's been a favoured technique here of most drivers today. Can immediately back on the assault again at 126.7, a tenth faster than the 126.8 last time by. So some really incredible scenes there. As once again, the drivers seem to settle into their rhythm for the final stint of the weekend. They've driven already one very hard race. They don't want to drive another one and tire themselves out, that's for sure. Although as much as I wish we could see a race number 3, I don't think the drivers will be physically up to it. These races take so much out of you. It is door-to-door racing all the way from start to finish, and that is what makes this series so special. Still attacking, but we'll give you an update. Actually, they're near the end of the circuit now, so an update as to how close G Cortese is, because that BMW is becoming almost like a Jaws factor, isn't it? Every background of the shot you just want to go, nah, because he's coming. The BMW is going to make it a three-way battle, mark my words. This one is far, far from over in the battle for the lead, but he's on 2 wheels there, and that may have something to do with it. So you can't be doing that for too much longer, or there will be some problems. A bit further back, Sean and Van Panther still battling hammer and tong over the final top 5 position. Into turn 1 again, Sean couldn't quite make a go of it, but lap time wise, it was actually B13 that was slightly faster that time round. And they dive now going in towards the left-hander. Taser 3rd, Nolan Bowl in 4th, Van Panther 5th, Sean in 6th, Graf Findel 7th, Stuntman in 8th, AGO6 9th, 14th Mets 10th, 11th Luke Sky, 12th King Gaio, 13th out for the race, back to Gaber and Shadow Bounty, the big shot there in 14th. How much would this race have differed should Shadow Bounty have not retired? It's only something we can speculate. Bearing in mind the man he was right involved with at the time of the incident, Nolan Boland, the man who finished 3rd place in race number 1, is now just outside of a 2nd podium. He's in 4th place at the moment. So he's had a sensational drive to get himself into 4th. And can he get it to 3rd or no? I think he's just a bit too far away. It's more about if Cortese can catch the race leaders. Now through turn 1 again, though, time starting to run out. 4 laps to go for B13 to make his impact and pass the race leader of AKA Brake. He's remained under a second for quite some time, and it may be quite some time too late because Cortese still creeping up the backstairs, still going to be that ongoing problem, the lingering background threat as he just chases down the 2 leaders. Now diving into the corkscrew again. Watch out for Nolan, Van Panther, Sean 24, Grafindle, Stuntman, AGO 6 as well. All of those guys still could be factors as the field separates out a bit. But the main crux has been focused on this race lead. All the 2 battles in 6th and 5th. Sean and Van Panther, who've been back and forth all race long. I don't think their race is over anytime soon, but it's all about the battle for the lead. They come around the final corner now. There'll be 3 laps to go this time by. Turn 1 again, a 1:26.9 for B13, a 1:27.8 for AK Ray. And this is what I referenced in race 1, that you could be a second faster when a car is a few tenths away, but it won't matter because the car that's actually chasing you will gain all of that time back as soon as he hits a main straight. And that's what happened there. 1.2 seconds slower was AK Brake to B13, and the next thing you know, he's still only 1.4 seconds behind. So incredible stuff here, and AK Brake could still be on the chance of a win though, because he has lost the lead to B13. The Chevy now leads after making the pass. That's why AK Brake was so slow, but he can't fade away just yet. So the Chevrolet B1386 now leads after taking pole position away from AK Brake. He's taking the lead away, but AK Brake, if he can finish on the podium, I'm sure will still be immensely delighted. But look how much time B13 has eked away already, 2.2 seconds, and that's only just the beginning. B13, a 1:26.4, a 1:26.9 for AK Brake, and a 1:26.6 for Cortese. So he is still gaining. He's now only 2 seconds away from AK Brake. He's pushing his way forward, nearing his way, edging closer to the BMW. The 2 very, very similar cars. The only thing that differentiates the 2 is the colour scheme. But the penultimate lap of the race underway. Can Cortese get close enough to provide to be a threat? Nolan Boland now in the very distant background as well. Then the next 2, Garfindle battling with Stuntman Mike actually over P7 at the moment. Stuntman Mike trying to get back on the assault of the Volvo that was in the incident earlier. Stuntman Michael so caught up in one of his own at that very corner. He's been very lucky to keep the race on the road, unlike our race winner from number 1, Shadow Bounty. We'll see if he's able to change it as the race goes on. Mike now to the inside, not quite through there though. In towards the corkscrew. Keep his car in the straight line, very difficult through there as the elevation drops away from you. It's almost like a roller coaster dip. The B1386 starts his final lap as a race leader in the Chevrolet. It'll be the only Chevrolet win of the day if he can make it stick. And Cortese, meanwhile, is 1.6 seconds away. So it is well underway now then. B1386 still maintains his advantage with AK Brake second, Cortese third, Nolan Boland fourth, Van Panther fifth, Sean in sixth, Grafindle seventh, but only just from Stuntman Mike, who's pressuring now in eighth. Stuntman can't really find a way through despite his finest efforts. However, we said Cortese could be a threat. I said, mark my words, here they come then. Cortese in the last two corners is all over the back of AKA Break. And it could be AKA Heartbreak if he can get through. Cortese has a bit of dust though, and that may prevent his progress. We've got to take a look at the race leader though. B1386 makes it a Chevrolet win for the second race in round one of the Simraceway World Touring Car Championship. And the narrowest of margins separate AKA and Cortese. The only place you'd find a closer one is on an oval race. Nolan Bowl in 4th, Van Panda spins, but finishes P5. 6th place Sean, 7th place Grau Findle, 8th is Studman, 9th AGO6, 10th is still up for grabs between RT Metz and Luke Sky. Luke Sky is going to, I think, take P11. Indeed he does. 12th King Dio, and out of the race, Matt Sagaba and Shadow, our pole sitter from race 1 and our race winner from race 1. But B1386 flies the Chevrolet flag very high after 3 Seat wins, 1 BMW and 1 Chevrolet. It's been the first Chevrolet win in over 2 weeks of racing here in Simraceway. So the first round of the Simraceway World Touring Car Championship has been and gone. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that it hasn't exactly been ideal today, and apologies again for the commentary. I've been feeling a bit under the weather today. But the racing has been spectacular, and a massive thank you as well to our new cameraman Dimitri, who's put on such a brilliant show on his channel. So massive thank you to him. He really has been a brilliant new addition to the Simraceway team. To our events manager, as always, Corsacco, for putting on such a stunning championship again. We knew touring cars were a hit here, and it's proven to be exactly why we love them so much this weekend. To all of the racers and the spectators that have made this broadcast what it is, I know a lot of you have tuned in here today, so thank you for taking time on this Sunday evening to give us your attention and watch some very entertaining sim racing. And to the racers who've got out there in the attempt of becoming a Simraceway champion, their progress will continue into next week as we get ready for round 2 of the Simraceway World Touring Car Championship. From myself, Liam Jenkins, take care. I'll see you next week.